meeting. We're going to call the work session to order, and I will turn it over to Mr. Wilkes.
Thank you, Mr. McKinney. We have a few items tonight on the work session. First of all, you've seen this, We Love Our Schools. This is actually an update of the video. I really appreciate Ms. Cherney putting our report card scores and our cheerleading feat within this video. So we're going to watch the video real quick. It really tells our story in less than 2 minutes.
Here in Orange Beach, we are grateful for our vibrant community and city that wholeheartedly support our school system. Our top priority is providing a safe and nurturing learning environment for every student. With a remarkable 1-to-13 teacher-to-student ratio, we ensure personalized attention for each child. 10% of our students were in the 99th percentile on the 2024 Alabama ACAP testing. In state rankings, Orange Beach City Schools placed 3rd in math, 3rd in science, and 7th in English language arts. On the 2023 to 2024 state and federal report cards, Orange Beach Elementary School received a 97, Orange Beach Middle and High School received a 94, and Orange Beach City Schools received a 95 as a district. 100% of our 3rd graders are reading at or above grade level, and the class of 2024 celebrated a perfect 100% graduation rate. In athletics, our 4-time state champion softball team has been recognized as MaxPrep's 2024 national champions. Our cheerleading team won the 2024 4A state championship in the game day division. An impressive 96% of our students participate in co-curricular or extracurricular activities. Exciting developments are on the horizon with a new $46.1 million athletic complex currently under construction. Our musical theater students even had the incredible opportunity to perform alongside Foreigner. In Orange Beach, we live the Mako way, upholding our core values of respect, honesty, trust, caring, and integrity every day. Alabama loves public schools, and so do we here at Orange Beach City Schools.
We really appreciate Ms. Cherney and the update there. She has sent this to the Alabama State Department of Education. As soon as they open their website, we should be able to go and view it there. We have kept from putting it out there publicly, waiting on them. I don't know how much longer we can contain ourselves. We don't want that to become old news. Any comments on the video?
No. It's awesome.
Yes.
Well, I think she's done a fantastic job, but our students, teachers, first and foremost, our administrators have done a fantastic job. Staff done a great job last year and this year. So we're going to talk just briefly about report cards tonight. I want this to be more of an opportunity for you to ask questions of me. I want to get out of this mode I'm in. Excuse me just one moment while I re-upload that, okay? You've had this data now for about a week, and you've perused it, and I just want to see if there are any questions. I'm pausing this because that's a beautiful face right there. and I just want you to look down at the bottom at the channel markers and just with the report card, how many of our goals we hit and demonstrated mastery, if you will, of our goals within that strategic plan. So job well done by everyone. I have all types of data here within this spreadsheet. I'm not going to take you through all of this. I even did a regional comparison. This spreadsheet was really more about comparing the schools that made an A, school systems that made an A, and of course the scores here being ranked, there are only 4 other scores higher than our score this past year. Of course, we demonstrated a 9-point improvement year over year. I even ranked the achievement there because that's really proficiency and how we rank. Of course, you see Mountain Brook there that's leading the way with Vestavia Hills on their heels, different type of hill there. But I wanted to really talk about our sister schools. And demographically, I believe that poverty level really, is something that we can compare ourselves to, and we should look and see how well those with a similar poverty level are doing. And I'm happy to say that we're right up there in the midst other school systems that have a very similar poverty rate. Again, Mountain Brook leads the state there at 3%, Vestavia Hills at 7%. I still don't think I've got Piedmont. I meant to go back and change that and look and see what their free and reduced amount was. And I had to pull all these one at a time from the state website when they released this information the other day. But I'm sure that Trussville, us, Pike Road, Homewood, and Madison City, all very comparable. So as we start to look across the state, sometimes we're looking for somebody to identify to grab an anchor, to look at a benchmark, to say, okay, you know, what is it that we need to be doing better? What is it that our demographics could excel in that we're not excelling in? Or what are we doing well that other people are not? So I highlighted these just to say, these are our sister schools, if you will, for comparison's sake. So as you continue to look at data, both now and in the future, think in terms of these school systems. I'll pause right there and see if there are any questions.
Why not compare ourselves to Mountain Brook?
Not saying not to compare ourselves to Mountain Brook, but we're looking for people that have similar demographics as we do, and they do not.
They are a higher demographic or a lower demographic?
They've got 3% free and reduced, and we've got 27, so that's a difference of 24.
So the other ones are right in line with the
Yes, so that's what I'm showing you here with the orange highlights.
Okay.
And then if we look at the most improved over here, of course, we're at the top there of all the A's with 5 points improvement. And then if you look at the chronic absenteeism, I have this ranked over here in column F, and you can see of all the A's, we still are pretty high in chronic absenteeism. So the principals, we've all talked about this, academic APs in our last leadership meeting. I still think that the improvement to scores and academic achievement is through reducing chronic absenteeism. It has not changed. I think we get better by coming to school. Not sick, but coming to school when we are well. Any questions about that? Those are really the two tabs I wanted to show you, free and reduced and chronic absenteeism.
Yes. I'm assuming every school across the state is supposed to be using the same process and definition of absenteeism. Is there a way to fudge that?
Well, I mean, by not
I'm
recording,
not
you
asking
could.
us to fudge anything.
No.
I just saw some scores
Huh.
that didn't look legit.
Well, I suppose there is but one attendance manual in the state of Alabama. And in this case, you count both excused and unexcused absences. And it really doesn't matter. If the child is not there for at least half a day, then they are absent. So outside of that, I don't know. If you just don't record it and you don't follow up, it might not be accurate, okay? So,
Or coded differently, maybe.
ma'am,
Or maybe coded differently.
it's still an absent. The only way that you could get around that is by not recording it as an absence. And still remember, you know, it's still 18 absences, okay? And if you're not going to school as many days, you don't have the opportunity to miss as many days. So it benefits somebody with a shorter school year, as I understand it.
When we code those who are like maybe gone to tournaments and things like that, does it count as an
No,
absence?
ma'am, it's an extension of the classroom. University visits, things of that nature, all well within our policy manual. I'm very, excuse me, go ahead.
The only absentees that aren't really recorded are 504s, IEPs, or something like that.
No, sir, those will be recorded as well.
They do?
They don't get a waiver? on
No,
school?
sir.
Okay.
You know, absence is absence, and that's the thing about chronic absenteeism. It doesn't matter if it were an excused absence or a part of their 504, part of their IEP, they're still not there.
I mean, I agree with you in absence. is
No, no,
an
I'm just
absence, but
explaining.
I'm also.
That's their
aware-
policy.
Also aware that the state education department defines things differently on different pages.
We're supposed to be all doing the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just not there. Does not matter if excused or unexcused. The only way around that is to not record it.
Okay.
Okay? Good comments, good questions. I've already pointed these things out. Out of 139 districts, and if we consider just those that recorded an A, 5 school systems received a better report card score. We're most improved. We're still ranked 5th of those A's in regards to chronic absenteeism, so we've got work to do there. We also ranked 5th in regards to percent of non-economically disadvantaged students. So we got to keep that in mind too, and I do think that research shows you that it does have an effect on academic achievement. Any questions? I did do a regional comparison here. I won't spend a whole lot of time. Gulf Shores and Saraland are very close by, and both did an outstanding job with their scores and academically speaking. You can see the elementary side-by-side comparison there. We don't have a standalone middle school, and our middle school data helps our high school data, so you really can't compare middle schools and you really can't compare high schools here, but you can somewhat look at the school systems, the 95, 95, 96. So we congratulate those 2 school systems there. You can look here and see the year-over-year improvement, where Gulf Shores showed 4 points, to Saraland 2 points, and we showed 5 points. You can see the effects here of chronic absenteeism. Gulf Shores recorded 5%, Saraland 9%, Orange Beach, we're still at 12%, and that's taking both elementary school and high school and combining it. And remember, that is the one true K-12 number, because ACAP is 3 through 8 and ACT is just 11. That includes kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, all the way up through 12th grade. It's really the only factor that takes into consideration every grade, and no, it does not include K4. And then you see the achievement, and this is really where I think we're doing quite well. You see our overall is at 90, Saraland's is 92, Gulf Shores is at 81, and it should be well because our free and reduced is less. So I think we're where we should be. We're not doing as well as we're going to do this year. There's room for improvement, is what I'm telling you. We've done a lot of celebrating. We've got to put this behind us and we've got to focus. And that's what I'm doing tonight. So here are our goals for 2025. We talked about these in leadership the other day and nobody left the room, okay? At the elementary school, our goal is to be 98 next year. And I think the way that we do that is we improve the ACAP achievement and we decrease the chronic absenteeism. Even though we've shown much improvement, we still have room to grow there. At the middle school and high school, looking forward to a 96. The ACAP and ACT are areas that we can improve upon. We can also decrease chronic absenteeism. We won't reach the 100% CCR. I think we're at 97, 98, and that's pretty much where we're going to be. We still haven't verified that just yet. I don't think we've certified that. We did? We pretty much know. Mm-hmm. And the graduation rate, though, is 100%, okay? And so those are really good scores. We're on a good trajectory at both schools, and I believe if we do that, then our school system could be a 97 next year. And I'm saying this aloud and recording this tonight so that everyone knows that's our challenge. These are our goals. And our goals are very much like the schools as a system. Work on that achievement, decrease chronic absenteeism, continue to do well with CCR and with graduation rate. Any questions about this? This is probably our last time that we'll address last year's grades. But I wanted to do it publicly tonight. Okay? Again, congratulations to everyone. Job well done. Looking forward to improvement. I know the elementary school has already taken their ACAP mid-year assessment, and I know you were combing those scores this afternoon. Looking forward to the plan as we come back from the holidays and getting it even better. High school will do theirs later in January. And that's just to get us ready. It's something that the state is now requiring us all to do, okay? We're going to talk about 40% of the 1 cent sales tax, okay? And this is really where I want to spend the most time tonight. Sometimes the public does not understand that It is a state responsibility to provide for public education. It's not in the U.S. Constitution. It's not something that's required federally. It is a state obligation. And I think we need to keep that in mind moving forward, that there are some things that the state of Alabama should be providing every student in the state of Alabama, including ours. Okay? In Section 1 of Act 2017-447, I will not go through that as it's written, but we know in Baldwin County, there is a 1 cent sales tax. And off the top of that 1 cent sales tax, there's a 2% and a 1% that go to juvenile court system and goes to the DA's office. Okay? After that, that 1 cent is recalculated, and from that, 5% goes to the county, another 55% goes to the county commissioners, and 40% go to the students of Baldwin County schools. Our concern is that our tax dollars do not stay in Orange Beach, they do not come back and help students in Orange Beach. All of that 1 cent, the 40 cent of the 1%, goes to Baldwin County students, okay? And so Senator Chris Elliott has picked up the mantle, and he is trying to change that. I'll stop and ask, do any of you have any questions about the old law? I think this was effective June 2018.
I don't have any questions, but just, I guess to clarify for the public, when it said that the money goes to Baldwin County schools, they do not mean the schools in Baldwin County. They mean the Baldwin County Board of Education.
That is correct.
So
That is
just
what their
that-
lawsuit came, that is what it came down to.
Correct. And
That
yes.
verbiage.
And even when, way back when we voted on this, conversation was had that it should have read LEA. Coulda, shoulda, wouldas, doesn't.
Well, it's too bad that we're caught up in semantics of, you know, I did not have with that woman, you know.
Right.
When Baldwin County Schools, well, we are part of Baldwin County Schools.
No.
And no, we're not part of Baldwin County School System, but does it say school system in the, I don't remember that part of it.
It says Board of Education.
Baldwin County Board
Board
of
of
Education.
Education.
And it was strategically done that way.
Okay? So, wanted you to understand what that 40% of 1 cent looks like. Just as a reminder, I don't have to remind the board, but for the general public to understand, we participate in the foundation, but we do not get any foundation funds. Whereas other people in the state of Alabama receive money for their teaching units, we do not. We do not get 1 penny. Mr. Gray, about 85% of our total budget is locally funded. There's no one else that comes close to that amount of money. Public school funds, we do not get any money. The foundation program, we receive some categorical aid, $684,000. That's not quite 3% of our total operating budget. We write a lot of grants. We're going to look at that during the board meeting itself. 1.75 million, or about 7% of our total budget. Okay? When you look at what the state does as far as funding the rest of the other school systems, somewhere the research says between 55 and 65%. So we're looking at something between 3 and 7%. Remember, it's a state responsibility to fund, to provide for public education. All right? The the potential revenue there of 40 cents on a dollar is $2.6 million. So I want you to know that we received from the state of Alabama for Orange Beach sales tax about $20 million. So 1% of that, do you mind closing that double door? 1 cent of that to us is about $6 million. Of course, you have to take the DA out, you have to take the juvenile courts out, you have to take the 55%, you have to take 5% to get back to that 40%. But it's still about $2.6 million. So when Senator Elliott talks about $2 million coming back to Orange Beach. He's talking about, of those sales tax revenues in the state, that amount coming back to us. That is really going to support somebody else's students. Questions or thoughts? Everybody understand the math there?
Are you going to expand and talk about how the state funding increased for Baldwin County once we split away, or is that a discussion that?
I think that it's not in my slideshow, but when we pulled out with our enrollment and the assessed value of property decreased, according to the article, there's a 40 or 50,000, $1 million surplus in Baldwin County schools because of us and Gulf Shores leaving.
Oh, yeah, and they've enjoyed all that part of it. too.
So really, we're asking for really nothing in comparison to that.
No, sir.
So it says that Senator Elliott's bill, so it's already been passed?
No, sir.
No.
It says his bill is to take effect.
I'm sorry, where are you reading that from?
Senator Elliott's
Second
bill
bullet
is to
point
take
under-
effect.
That he has proposed, that he has shared with us, would take effect
Yeah,
October 1, 2025, okay?
Yeah.
So there's $2.7 million, that's about 11% of our total operating budget. Senator Elliott's bill that he has proposed is to take effect, would it take effect, if it's passed, October 1, 2025, okay? Just keep in mind, we've not received any of that 40% of 1 cent for the, if we go through October 2025 for 3 years. So it's $8.1 million to us that we're out because we didn't get any portion of that for our students. You understand that? Okay, very good. In 2022, the state did not update its foundation program allocation. We'll all recall that, okay? Baldwin County, that money had to go somewhere. It went right back to Baldwin County. So they got credited that year for the students we had in Orange Beach. And then we had that whole dilemma over the $4.7 million that we did not pay back. But that money went somewhere. They kept that ADM but didn't teach those students. So you start to do the math and it starts to all add up when you look at the 40 or 50 million surplus, you look at the 8.1 million that I've just shown you that's been missing for the last 3 years, and another 4.3 million. Okay? So there's over $12 million right there that I've demonstrated to you that's gone to Baldwin County schools. Not to mention the decrease in ADM and the the decrease in ad valorem and the decrease in enrollment that's affected them $40 to $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Any questions? All right, so here's the proposed legislation, and I took this quote right out of the article the other day, and here's where he used that $40 to $45 million every single year, okay? What we're asking for between the two schools systems is about $5 million, okay? So Dr. Bowers already pointed out there's a big difference in us asking for 5 and them getting 45. There are two options.
Million.
Yes, do I keep saying thousand?
No, you didn't say anything. I just wanted to point out
Million.
5 million versus 45 million.
Yes, sir.
Per year,
Per year.
Per
with
year.
less students.
Yes, sir.
5
That
less
you would have
schools.
otherwise.
Right.
Us, yeah. And two options he's basically saying. Everything of that 40% of 1% can come to us, is what that first bullet says, or split it based on student population. I'm going to show you that that's not our preference in just a moment, okay? We want the 40% of 1% to stay where it is raised, okay? So this is from the report card, just to show you that if you took all of Baldwin County students, not those that go to Baldwin County schools, but Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Baldwin County combined, we have about 3.5% of the total population, okay? If you look at this next slide, this scenario here, this is looking at 40% of the 1 cent. If we look at the everything we collect, I've already made this point, we collect about $20 million, okay? And that's on that 3% or 3 cent. For the public, the numbers are 4, 3, 3. We have a 10% sales tax, 4% goes to the state, 3 goes to the county, and 3 comes to Orange Beach. Okay, so that's how we're getting those numbers. 3% of 20 million is this 6.7 here. If we back out the DA and the juvies, that's 6.5 million. And if we take 40% of that 1 cent, we're left with 2.6. So that's the simple math that we've done there. That's what we would prefer stay in Orange Beach, so to speak. That was his first bullet. Any questions? A second bullet, you take a look, Mr. Gray and I looked at this again yesterday, the total sales tax for Baldwin County, about 70 million. You back out the DA and the juvenile court system, that's a 68.4 million. And then if you go 40% of the 1 cent, you're looking at us, by the time you divide it by the percentage of ADM that we have, which was about 3.5%, our take would only be $950,000. So there's a big discrepancy. Any questions or comments?
No.
Any thoughts?
Oh, Number one, thank you for putting this out in the open so that everybody can kind of understand what's going on. I think that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of people don't know that this is happening in the background.
That our money's not staying here, not educating our students,
Correct.
that it's going somewhere else.
I'm trying to think through that, and I imagine up there in central Alabama, they're not gonna want that very, you know what I mean? Because they're gonna set a precedence. If they decide to do it by, it stays where it's spent, boy, does that open up something that, so I hope that that's the way we win it. But it's gonna be a hard hill to climb, I'm afraid, because of everyone else. You start that precedent like that, and then why wouldn't everybody else want to do it that way? You cut out the little guy, you know?
Well, you got two different avenues. I mean, on the ADM, you want to do the big dollars the same way? I'll take that deal all day
I'll
long.
take, well, first of all, I'll take, if they want to give us whatever, it's more than we're getting today.
Now, but I'm saying on ADM, where they're getting a $50 million windfall,
Yeah,
and they're wanting to keep the 2.7 million. If they think that's unfair, then let's go back and let's split the ADM the way we've been splitting it prior to Orange Beach becoming a system.
well, and see, and they knew, before we split, they knew, because the comment was made, hey, if Orange Beach and Gulf Shores, you know, Gulf Shores is gone, if Orange Beach goes, all it does is help us. Right? So, I mean, they knew that going in. And then with the timing, they got the windfall from our students. And so, yeah, they've got the money. And, we
But
deserve
there
it.
seems to be, in my opinion, I'm a fair person, the fairness is not in this program right now.
Oh, no way.
And the fairness doesn't go our way on either one of their calculations. And they're getting the best calculation on both avenues. So my deal is, the 2.7 is a sweet deal for them, because if they think that's unfair because of what you said earlier, then let's go back and do the whole
Redo the whole
calculation
deal.
that way.
Yeah,
And that's why I said, then we ought to blow up the foundation program and start over.
I agree 100%.
There you go. If they go with scenario 2, then essentially that creates precedence, and then you can't come back and say, hey, there should be a minimum.
Well, they're having two different arguments that are directly opposed to each other.
Well, and the penny tax is a countywide tax. It only affects Baldwin County. So getting our percentage of that would not affect or
Anybody else's
detract
tax.
from any other part of Alabama.
Not on the sales tax.
Right, so, I mean, getting the higher, the 2 point whatever,
But I
7.
think what Robert was saying, if they do that on the sales tax and they use that argument, then they could go back to the ADM argument and then we could
Oh, yeah.
claim
Mhm.
a bigger share of the ADM property taxes coming from Baldwin County and
Right.
say, well, this is the way we ought to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to pick one way or the other, and then we can figure out how we need to handle it from then on.
Yeah.
But they can't punish us both ways. I mean, they can, they're
Yeah,
doing it,
they've been doing it.
but it's not fair.
Well, even the person that wrote the foundation program said that we were not getting treated
That it was
fairly.
not intended
That's
Yeah,
one
it
way.
wasn't
for
intended.
this situation.
That's right.
Thank you for the explanation. Any questions about it?
We'll keep you informed as to next steps and the latest developments on this. Wanted to get it out there because Senator Elliott's done a great job of putting it out there for the consideration, and we just need to follow up, okay? Legislative session is right around the corner, 1st of February, okay? The compendium supplement, I just want to talk briefly about it tonight. Just keep in mind the red font within the compendium supplement. I told you at the last board meeting that we would take a close look at this and have some type of blanket statement that says you're the governing authority responsible for policy approval. Even though you're approving this plan, we're not going to bring every plan and every procedure back to you every time it changes. You give us by board policy the authority to develop plans and procedure manual. And that's what we'll continue to do. But we just want you to approve this as a blanket to say, we're aware that there's a CIP. We know that there's a strategic plan, and Mr. Wilkes is going to bring it back to us if there needs to be any changes, or we think there needs to be some changes, okay? That's the one plan that probably you will always be asked to approve. I hate we even use the word plan, but I don't want to use policy at the same time because it's not. Plans and procedures, superintendent's designee, local schools, policy board. So I hope that red font clarifies all that.
It does, but I have a question. How many pages are in all of these attachments in this compendium?
A
We're
lot.
What are
we're
the
going to cover
total
those
number of
now.
pages?
I'm kidding.
I'm serious. What are the total number of pages?
Oh, it's got to be well into the thousands because a couple of those are 200 and 300 page documents. I know that we've just finished the nurses manual, and it's a couple hundred pages, counseling pages, several dozen pages. CTE has its own. We have a plan for everything from migrants to EL, to special education, gifted, easy, maybe even 1,000.
My point is,
More than that.
there's no way this board can read every one of those word for word and have an opinion on them with our time. So,
Nor should we.
yeah,
That's what you pay people to do.
Correct.
The board does.
so there is a trust level when we hand this off. And if you read one and you don't like it, then you can have, some comments and some changes, discussions on it. But you're not gonna know everything that's in everything every time it changes, probably. There may be some overachiever on the board that reads it all. I'm guessing that might be, all four of y'all. Not me. I doubt it's better than NyQuil when I look at it. So,
Thank you.
I get
Thank you for that compliment. Expect you all to read the accounting manual and report back. There'll be a test on it at the next board meeting.
Yeah, I did just go through that one.
Yeah. It's a thank you, though, for everyone that had a part in that, and we're getting ready for compliance monitoring. That's a lot of work. You got to remember, we're trailblazers here. That's our work. Those are our ideas. Those are original. You didn't walk in and somebody said, oh, here's one we've been using for 50 years. Yeah, so, good job.
thanks to all of you.
The next item I'd like to briefly talk about are the coaching incentives. This is also an action item tonight. When we got to looking at the coaches' incentives, for whatever reason, the cheerleading state championship was down at the bottom and was $1,000. We all believe it needs to be, and I say we, those in leadership, believe it needs to be $5,000, just like every other state championship. And all we've done here is just simply strike through the bottom and add the verbiage to the top to make sure that we include every coach that has a team sport, a team to win state, that it's 5,000, not 1,000. Everybody good? And then, last thing that we'll briefly go over tonight, Mr. Blevins, if you'll come up and give us a brief synopsis of the school calendar.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I met with the calendar committee, met on December the 3rd, teachers, administrators, parents. On that committee, we looked at current calendar. We actually were able to pull the calendar from Gulf Shores and Baldwin County to consider those as we were putting ours together. We had a draft and really just took the draft, which is very similar to the one this year, and said, all right, what tweaks, what changes would you make to ours that will still help us, the island especially, to fit together? And so the calendar that we're asking, the superintendent's asking the board to approve this evening basically does that. A few of the highlights in it, if you'll just scroll all the way to the bottom of the document, sir.
Yes.
This is my worksheet for this. If you'll notice out beside, there are a number of days in each month. It's number of student days, number of teacher days, number of 12-month employee days, so I can keep track of it. This calendar does give us 240 for 12-month employees. It does 177 for students, and we've already looked at the math on it. By extending each period at the high school 1 minute, we will actually have more instructional time than we have this year at 178 days. Comes out to 1,095, give or take, hours of instruction. 1,080 is the requirement from the state, which is really equal to 180 days if you're using the shorter periods or hour-long 6-period days. And then the other one, this is new, and again, this came from the teachers. And that's what I love about this process, is they put the input in, the parents put the input in on the days and vacations and stuff like that to keep those consistent, along with the surrounding districts. But you'll notice there's 2 flex days on the calendar. And so what we're asking is that teachers, I could only get 185 days for teachers in this calendar from August 1 to Memorial Day. That's all I could get out of it and still keep pretty much what we've been keeping. So we're asking for 2 flex days. One flex day would be professional development. Teachers would be required between June 1 and July 31st of next summer, of the following summer, at the end of the contract, to have one professional development day outside of their regular work days. And we've already talked with both administrators. They're going to offer summer PD to take care of that. The second flex day is one that we will have teachers where they have the opportunity to work in their classrooms prior to school and be paid for it. We know they all do it for free right now, and this way it's a little bit of a, hey, thank you for that. So that's what we're proposing.
And if they choose 2 professional development days as opposed, they can certainly
They
do that
certainly
as
can do
well.
that.
And not work in the room, but 99% of teachers are going to work in the room.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that? It's an action item night. I really want to some of these action items have a little more discussion sometimes, maybe during the work session than we take time during the actual board meeting to have.
So once a comment, so what I saw is that we have 2 full weeks of Christmas.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then where is that, those few additional minutes that were added at secondary, for secondary students? What was that? Was that on the front end of the day or on the back end?
It's actually one minute in each period, 53-minute periods of instruction.
Okay.
And the math is real. It's 53 times 7 times 177, and then you divide that by 60, you get 1,094 and change.
The likelihood of it starting earlier
Earlier? Okay.
is
Yeah.
because of all extracurricular activities after school already, but it won't be that drastic.
Okay.
Now, we're leaving that to Mr. Shaw and his staff to kind of sit down and make the best determination. Everything from car rider line will be considered to morning tutoring and practices and so forth, so.
Okay, perfect.
We practice just about as much in the morning as we do in the afternoons.
I have a question. We're going to 177 student days.
Yes, sir.
What are we now?
178.
Okay.
The old rule used to be 180, and there was no 1080 rule. We like the 1095 because if we have a reason to dismiss school, we're still held accountable for it, whereas everybody in the state, and that's very likely here, might not get a state of emergency from the governor, and then we would have to make that time up. So that gives us plenty of time, if we miss a day or two, that we don't have to make days up.
Plus, we have the 2 half-days, or early dismissal days.
That's
And-
true.
And when you take those away, that's 3 hours per, you're still way over the 1,080.
189 or so.
Yes, sir.
1,089.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have an invocation, and it will be led by the 2024-2025 cheer captain, River Wells.
Okay, hey y'all. We all bow y'all's heads and I'll pray. Dear Lord God, thank you for allowing us to gather here today. Thank you for surrounding our team and us as individuals with such a supportive community that is always there for everything that we need. Lord, I pray that you bless our leaders and our administrators with wisdom and with guidance and protection, Lord. Thank you for allowing us to have a home, somewhere so beautiful that we can spend the holiday season. And I just thank you for everything that you've blessed us with. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rivers. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, and the pledge will be led by senior members of the 2024 AHSAA State Champion cheerleaders. Those names are Alex Davis, Rivers Webb, Hallie Zimmerman, Ollie Ingabus.
Attention. All right. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bring them back to Mike.
Shortly, you do the, we'll have the roll call at this time, please.
Mr. McKinney?
Here.
Dr. Bauer?
Here.
Ms. Robinson?
Here.
Ms. Nix?
Here.
Mr. Sewell?
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. You want to call them back?
At the guest.
Okay, at the guest. All right. Now, we have the agenda that's been posted. The Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I have 4 motions in 4 seconds. Do you want me to select names, or do you? Okay. Motion by Shannon Robinson, second by Robert Stewart.
Lisa.
No, I called
Lisa
Robert
Nix.
Stewart. You got
She
it.
beat me to the punch.
All right. No changes. Those in favor say aye. Aye. The motion carries. The agenda is approved. Consideration of the previous minutes as posted. You have seen those. They've been posted. You've had an opportunity to read those. The chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Bauer, second by
Lisa.
Shannon Robinson.
Lisa.
Oh, Lisa. Lisa Nix. Discussion, corrections, deletions. Seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye. The motion carries. Recognition of guests. I turn it over to Mr. Wilkes. What, did I leave something out?
No, we've just got an abstention from the vote. We'll take care of it.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Blevins, sir, would like for you to recognize our guest. I'm not going to recognize all of our cheerleaders, but I am going to call the senior cheerleaders back to the podium. So if you'll introduce all the other guests.
Okay, just very quickly, want to recognize from the SPAC, Miss Misty Payne, Mallory Wilkins, the real boss of the superintendent, Miss Kathy Wilkes, is here today, and we want to recognize Councilperson Annette Mitchell and all the other family here today, and a lot of cheer parents. So welcome cheer parents.
Thank you, cheer parents, for being here tonight. Alex Rivers and Hallie, Ollie, if you'll come back to the podium, please. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. Great job leading the pledge. We're sometimes difficult to get moving in one motion, but once we get going, we've moved pretty good. So guys, tell us a little bit about your senior year. Rivers, we'll start with you. You're already warmed up tonight. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, maybe some classes that you enjoy, and so forth.
Okay, I've been doing so much. It's been so busy, but so fun. So much cheer going on, which is always so fun. I'm in a lot of AP classes, so, lots of homework and tests, but our teachers are very supportive, so they help us through all of it because they know how hard their classes are.
And your favorite subject is?
I would say probably English. Probably
English?
Yes,
Very
sir.
good, very good. Any particular hobbies outside of cheerleading?
I spend a lot of time with my family. My mom cooks. I sit there and I try and help, you know. I hang out with my friends a lot. I go to the gym and just lots of cheer.
Yes, I've seen you in the gym.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Hallie, tell us a little bit about yourself, please. How many years have you been cheering now?
Oh, like 8?
8 years. 8 years at the varsity level?
No.
Because I was going to say that would make you about 20 or so.
Yeah, definitely not.
Have all of you been cheering for the most part of your high school career? Okay, good. Go ahead.
Like things that I like to do?
Yes.
Okay. I like shopping and going.
How about school related? It is a school board meeting.
School's definitely hard, but I like history the most. I like Slayton. He's a nice teacher. I like him.
Yeah?
I like English too. I don't really go to school for that much. I'm in co-op, and I like the opportunity. Wait.
Okay. Thank you so much. Moving right along. Somebody that attends school, if you will, please approach the microphone.
Didn't we just discuss chronic absenteeism?
We did. But co-op is, that's actually one of the things that you get counted present for. So she's getting credit for that.
That's good.
I'm sure she's enjoying that co-op experience, okay? Ollie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Yes, thank you.
My favorite class in school is probably English because I love Miss Gardner and she's so sweet. But school's just been hard. What River says, it's very difficult taking AP, but our teachers help us through it, so it's been good.
Very good. And outside of cheerleading, you enjoy?
I like to spend time with my friends and family and go to the beach and the gym.
All right, very good. But not shopping and not co-oping.
Sometimes I shop.
I can imagine. Very good. And Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Probably my favorite class at school is, honestly, I'd have to say maybe math. It's definitely the hardest.
Yeah?
But I don't know, I enjoy it more than all my other ones.
What math are you taking right now?
AP Calculus.
You couldn't take anything more difficult?
Yeah,
What is
no,
probably
it's
the most difficult class you guys have had? Just out of curiosity.
Probably still.
AP Calculus.
Pre-cal last year was tough? Okay, interesting. Do you enjoy doing anything outside of school?
I enjoy hanging out with my friends a lot, and I like working. I coach cheer teams in Gulf Shores, and
Okay.
I coach tumbling, so I do that as much as I can when I'm not at cheer practice.
Leaving a legacy. Look at there. Very good. Excellent. Board members, do you have any questions for them?
No, I could say that Alex was also one of the first, was on the very first cheerleading squad as a 7th grader when we became a school system.
So when I said varsity, I was like halfway serious because
I mean, yes.
you were the first.
Yeah.
You know, you've always been the oldest of sorts, if you would, please. So that's interesting. So, any other questions?
Yeah, I've got a comment. I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and all she does is tumble all throughout the house, outside, you name it. And ever since y'all won a state championship, she has grabbed at my wife's phone and watched your routine on repeat. So here's the thing, is that you think about winning the state championship, but what you've done is really left a legacy for all future Makos. So it really was cool to watch that.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Just congratulations. I know
you.
a lot of hard work, time, parents, a lot of hard work, time, and I know it's sweet when your children get recognized for their hard work. So congratulations, ladies. The rest of you, congratulations. Keep on keeping on.
I want to say I just commend you for doing a sport and taking AP classes, and it's hard to be a student athlete. It's hard. My own children did that, and AP is not easy. And to be able to do both and do them both well, you should be commended.
Thank you.
I think it's also worth acknowledging the coaches and Coach Wool
Oh, yeah.
who,
And
stepped up when they needed her and did a jam-up job.
Very much so. And we're going to recognize everyone else and we're just picking on the seniors tonight, okay? You get to be seniors, you come back, we do the same thing, okay? Mr. McKinney?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to say congratulations and thank you. And how many years have you been the cheer coach?
Not even 2.
Yeah, congratulations. That's
Yeah.
awesome. It was fun to watch you ladies, and I appreciate the effort you put into it, and you represent our school as good as it can be represented. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can have a seat, please.
Now we have public comments. Anyone sign up?
No, sir.
There were item number 9, announcements, or when do you want to do that? The photo?
We'll do that in just a moment.
Okay.
Teachers of the Year, if I can get it to click on correctly. We're very proud of our Teachers of the Year. We had a really good press release. We got to go visit. I'm not sure if any of you guys were in Miss Satula's class the other day when we got to come in. I think she was. Yeah, she was pleasantly surprised, with her hair. It was a wild hair day or something. She had some blinking stuff going on and everything. She has just done a phenomenal job since she's been with us. And I think this is Mr. Blevins about her third year with us. Yeah. And if you remember from Institute, she led us with a percentage of students passing, when I say passing, a score of 3 or higher on the chemistry. And I've been in that classroom, and I've had chemistry at the collegiate level, and she's teaching at that level. So that was just a phenomenal job. None of you, though, were in Miss Tierce's room the other day. We went by and visited Miss Tierce down at the 2nd grade, and Miss Law and board members, we got to go in there. And she just is so quiet and meek and humble about what she does, but she consistently produces some of the best test scores, if not the very best test scores in our entire school system. And of course, she helps us with cross country and some other things, just does a phenomenal job. So at our Teacher of the Year banquet in January, we will honor both of them. So I hope you're excited about that. Board members, any comments? Some of you got to experience that the other day, and it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, just thanks for letting us be a part of that, because that was a special time with each of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have gotten some questions about how we select our Teachers of the Year, whether they are nominated or they just go online and fill out. Can you just tell us really briefly what that process
There are
is?
committees back at the local school, and they have a process for selecting those people, and they submit that information to Mr. Shaw, and there's a process that goes on from there into the office, and whereas they're selected. So they're selected by their peers. There are committees at both schools.
Committees, okay.
Anything we need to elaborate on there? That's just very general, but it is a group effort. And it's an honor to be nominated, but it's by your peers. I mean, there can't really be a bigger honor than that. So, all right. So that is our Teachers of the Year. Just want to give you a brief grant update. I know that you've seen this before. You can click on that link, and I won't do that for time's sake tonight. Almost $6 million now. Thank you, Ms. Burleson, for updating that. I think the last time you saw it was about 5.8, so it's 5.9 something now. We continue as a group to write grants and do a very good job, so I know you're appreciative of that. I want to congratulate. This is something, Ms. Hart, I saw you put out, I think. Ms. Hart, is she still here with us? She had to step out. Well, you can tell her that I called her when she stepped out, okay? She was congratulating the AmSty teachers, and I know, board members, how important professional development is for you. And all of our teachers are now AmSty trained. I think the appropriate term there is foundationally trained. And one thing we've learned through all the research in mathematics, when students don't understand things, there's an interference. And that foundational training lets us know, when they're not doing something correct, where's the problem? And it's within the foundation and all the research that they've done and all the studies that they've done. So that's making us better classroom teachers. So congratulations to all of our math teachers at the elementary school for achieving that. Questions or comments? I know our national board certification is still very important to us. I think our cohorts now are 5 and 6. I think we've got about 11 still involved in that. Does that sound about right? So our people are doing a great job. I had written to you guys earlier about the auditing agreement, Aviso, am I saying that correct, Mr. Gray? We did commit to a 3-year agreement with them. They did a good job for us last year, and I think it would behoove us for a period of time to stick with the same firm so that we find some rhythm. And they'll come and check various programs again this year. I think they'll be in as early as February. You'll probably send them some documents even before then. So look forward, as much as you can, to going to the dentist. No, going and having the audit done. That was supposedly humor there, guys, okay? I know, I enjoy going to the dentist too. The important dates here, Christmas band concert, looking forward to that. 6th grade, 7th grade will be performing that night. High school will be performing that night. That's going to be an exciting night at the Performing Arts Center. That's a 7 o'clock start on the 17th. Then on the 18th, the Christmas program at the Event Center. Various times, starting at 5 o'clock, though, with the younger students. And I guess every 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes, we'll rotate in because it's just important. It's important that everybody gets there and they're able to see, but it could be a long performance otherwise. So I'll be there for the duration. That's an exciting day, as is Grandparents' Day for some of the rest of us on the very next day. So if you're a grandparent, you want to be involved in all of those things. On the 20th, we've got early dismissal. Mr. Blevins, Mr. Shaw, Ms. Law, we have notices going out sometime next week, I'm sure. 11:30 at the elementary school, 12 o'clock at the high school. That's really one of those announcements that nobody really needs to send out. I promise you they'll remember that they're getting out early. But we're going to do it anyhow. Christmas break, then we come back and we've got PD for faculty. You see your legacy banquet. You see the Mardi Gras break, the end of third quarter, Special Olympics that'll be hosted in Gulf Shores this year. We've got a showcase of the arts. We'll tell you much more about that the closer that gets. That's going to be an exciting date. Prom, spring break, graduation for our 4 seniors here tonight. That'll be a big day. Soon enough. Any questions about the important dates? All right, very good. That's all of the announcements, sir.
Great, we're down to action items. We'll start with item 1.
Item number 1 is the cheerleading resolution, and I'm recommending that the board approve the attached resolution. If we get a first and a second, I will let Ms. Courtney read the names and the resolution tonight.
Chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Shannon Robinson, second by Lisa Nix. Would you read the resolution, please?
Whereas the Orange Beach City Schools and our vibrant community unite in immense pride over the extraordinary accomplishments of the Orange Beach High School varsity cheerleading team, recognizing the invaluable contributions of the athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and devoted fans who make their success possible. And whereas the dedication, relentless work ethic, and impeccable sportsmanship of this exceptional team have elevated the spirit and prestige of the Orange Beach High School and the entire community. And whereas the team's outstanding coaches have exemplified exceptional leadership and vision, inspiring a culture of teamwork, excellence, and perseverance. And whereas passionate families and loyal fans have created an unparalleled sense of pride and unity, proving that together we are more robust. And whereas the 2024 Orange Beach High School varsity cheerleading team is the first cheerleading squad in school history to secure a state championship. And whereas the remarkable 2024 varsity cheerleading championship team is comprised of Sadie Bullock, Kendall Courtney, Cameron Curtis, Alex Davis, Palin DeBorsney, Haley Elliott, Ollie Ingabus, Emma Green, Mary Elliott Griffin, Cameron Johnson, Virginia Law, Kylie LeMaster, Carly Ray McIntyre, Kinley Mosley, Kennedy Naylor, Kylie Pickering, Riley Rapp, Piper Rust, Nadia Merker-Timmerman, Cameron Waldrop, Rivers Webb, Ren Wilkins, Kate Warner, and Hallie Zimmerman. Whereas the trailblazing coaches leading the 2024 National and State Championship team are Kaylee Hoyle, head coach, Shelley Webb, assistant coach, and Brooks Puckett, assistant coach. Whereas this phenomenal team has demonstrated unparalleled commitment, exceptional talent, and a true embodiment of teamwork, earning the admiration and respect of all who witness their greatness. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Orange Beach Board of Education enthusiastically applauds the Orange Beach High School varsity cheerleading team for their groundbreaking achievements and their shining contributions to the spirit of our community. And now, be it further resolved that this resolution is presented to the team as a heartfelt tribute to their remarkable accomplishments, an enduring reminder of their legacy, and a celebration of their extraordinary sportsmanship and excellence.
Thank you. You've heard the resolution. That's got to pass first.
I know, I was about to clap.
I was like, hold on.
You've heard the resolution. Any discussion, questions, comments? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Seeing none? Congratulations.
Yes, now I can clap.
If at this time, our cheerleaders and cheerleading coaches, if you would, please come on stage for a photo.
If we could, let's get back to the business of the board. Mr. Wilkes, we're to item number 2, personnel. Hold on a second.
Test. All right. Action item number 2. The superintendent recommends the approval of the following personnel recommendations. We have an employment recommendation of a classified employee for the 24-25 school year.
Chair would entertain a motion for its approval, or
So moved.
so moved by
Second.
Lisa Nix, second by Dr. Bauer. Discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Item 3.
Action item number 3, financial statement and bank reconciliations. The superintendent recommends the approval of the attached financial statements.
You've had an opportunity to review those. The chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Dr. Bauer, second by,
Second.
I'm sorry,
Lisa.
Lisa Nix. Discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye. The motion carries. Item 4.
Incentive adjustment. Please note that there is orange font here. I just made a quick clarification with the orange font. And if you ever see orange font, you know that it's been something since you last saw the board packet. But I think it explains everything that we discussed in the work session. The superintendent recommends approving the following incentive adjustment with a change applied retroactively starting November 1, 2024.
The chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Robert Stewart, second by
Me.
Shannon Robinson. Discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye. The motion carries. Item 5.
The superintendent recommends that the board approve the attached compendium.
Will you read that for us, please?
I have a slideshow for each.
The chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Dr. Bauer, second
Second.
by Shannon Robinson. Any questions, comments, or discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye. The motion carries. Item 6.
The superintendent recommends board approval of the attached 2025-2026 school year calendar, and the accompanying 2025-26 flex day plan.
Chair would entertain a motion for the calendar.
So moved.
Motion by Robert Stewart, second by Lisa Nix. Discussion? I think this calendar will give us some happy parents and happy teachers.
It will go out tomorrow morning if it's approved. If not, it won't.
You want to table it?
No, sir, I'd rather not.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Item 7, I have a recommendation to make to the board, and this has to do with the superintendent's contract. He had a request of 2 items. Those 2 items were in his original contract where there was a expense amount of $500 for his vehicle, and then also an amount for term life insurance. He has requested that we move this from where it presently is in the financial statement over to an income position for him. And that would basically fix one thing about term life insurance, it increases as you get older. I'm not saying you're getting older, but when you get older, those term life policies increase. He has agreed to move that to a fixed rate, a fixed amount. So we're basically stopping that amount where it is at this time, and he will move it and spend it as he sees fit on whatever type policy that he wants to get in the future. So that's the first 2 items. There's a third item in this resolution, or in this amendment, and it has to do with our reviews. And the summary of that is every year that he gets a good review from the board, there will be an addition of 1 year to his contract at that time. And those are the 3 items in this amendment. So if we get a motion and a second, then we'll open the floor for discussion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Sure, I'll have some discussion. So first, I think the way I was notified on this, so y'all have to bear with me, I have a little story to tell. So Mr. McKinney called me Friday to tell me about the resolution, okay? Well, the last time Mr. McKinney called me actually was on a Friday, and the meeting was Thursday, and it was about extending Mr. Wilkes' contract for a couple of years. And when you started that conversation, if you remember, you said, I don't want to put you on the spot, and I hope your friends don't get mad. I still don't know what that meant, but it is what it is. But it was the Obama-Clinton style politics of the last-minute call that I didn't like. But you know what? I agree Mr. Wilkes deserves 2 years. Fast forward, I get the call on a Friday before the Thursday meeting, again. And then the story kind of changed from the first time I talked to you about it to the second time, right? So the first time I talked to you, you said the reason why we were going to do this was because we were afraid somebody was going to steal Mr. Wilkes. Okay, so I think about that, and I believe Mr. Wilkes is the highest paid superintendent in the state, 1,142 kids, I think I saw. So, as I think about this, to me, we're talking about $250,000, $250,000, right? Thereabouts. So I asked Mr. McKinney, so how did we come up with, who? Well, first you told me it was your and Nelson's idea. When I talked to you the other day, you said it was Nelson's idea. Okay. So I guess I'd have to ask Nelson then. Nelson, so if you needed something from your chief, and you called him the Friday before a Thursday meeting and said, hey, Chief, I bought you a fire truck, $250,000. And it's because, just in case our fire truck breaks down, I bought you one. How would you think he would react to that Friday before the Thursday call? And then, let's say that something, and I pray it never does, but let's say something goes wrong and we have to buy that contract out. Mr. Gray, how much money do we have in reserve? $1 million?
No, sir, it's roughly $7 million.
$7 million, and it'll go up and down, or will it stay around $7 million? Yeah. So if the contract has to be bought out anywhere from $250,000 to say $1 million, then that's going to be on the school board, right? Right?
No.
Who would have to pay that?
In the event of
if we had to buy your contract out, the school board would buy that contract out. It would be a meeting, and that's how we do it. Okay, so, but really and truly, we're talking about city money. We're talking about taxpayer money. And for me to get a call on a Thursday before a Friday meeting about $250,000 to $1 million, we're just going to push this thing through? No, man. We make policy. So I want to make some policy here for us to discuss in a public meeting, right? Number one, y'all pick the amount, $20,000, $5,000, $2. That if there's going to be any change to any contract or any expense, we can word it however, there needs to be at least a meeting on it, unless it's an emergency. We can define that. We're smart people. We can do that. But what I won't agree to, and I asked Mr. McKinney, I said, well, what's the mayor and council say? And you said it's none of their concern. Well, sir, I disagree with that. Because we have to go to them for our money, right? So I am not against this for Mr. Wilkes. I wasn't against the 2 years. But you know what? This isn't right. It wasn't vetted. It wasn't discussed. It's just like, hey, show up. We're going to vote on it. They'll find out about it on Friday. No. Ford, did you know about it? Did you know about the resolution tonight? Okay, fair enough. So that's where I'm at. You know, I think that I don't understand what the rush all of a sudden is. I mean, Mr. Wilkes is going to be with us until 2028, right? I hope. So why are we trying to slam this through tonight with no meeting, no discussion? And that's what I want to know.
Well, I guess I'll address that since my name was discussed a few times. Number one, I called you when I got the resolution from the attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
When did y'all talk about it, though? When did you start the discussion about it?
I believe I got it on Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, or that's when I got it from the attorney.
No, but when did you discuss it with the attorney to get him the information? How long ago was that?
I think it probably started earlier that week because we didn't know if we should do it in a resolution or an amendment to the contract. But let me get back to my other point.
Okay.
My other point is that phone call was a friendly reminder to let you know that there was something posted that only gets posted the day before I called. And that was a friendly reminder to let you know to go look at that and read it, just like the previous time that I called you to give you a friendly reminder that there may be something relevant in there that you would want to read and address. So it was.
You made that phone call to me? What you just said, you called me to inform me that there was an email?
No, that there was something posted on the agenda on the website.
Well, so if I was thinking about this the following Monday, I would have sent something out. Well, I'm just saying, maybe the thing to do would have been send it out to the board and say, hey, guys, this is what we're thinking about. What do you think? Since we're talking about $250,000 to $1 million of taxpayers' money.
We're not talking about that, Robert. This item, this resolution.
If we would have to buy the contract out.
Okay, I'm going to let you finish and then I'll comment.
If we would have to buy the contract out, right, we would have to come up with the money, or the city would, because back to what somebody was saying earlier, 80-something% of our money comes from local. I think those folks should know if we're making all of a sudden a $250,000 to $1 million. At least have a meeting on it so they could hear it. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's all I'm saying. You know, I don't think it should be something with this kind of money that should just be done in 3 or 4 days.
All right. First two items are no budget impact. It's a wash from one category to the other. The other item is only a budget impact like you're talking about if we choose to terminate Mr. Wilkes for no cause. We still have all of the termination items in the contract that he can be terminated for. What we're doing here is encouraging an outstanding superintendent that has done really good work in this school system accomplished really good things in this school system, and we're rewarding him to say he has some longevity for him to plan his life and his family. And I think it's a good thing to do when you have an outstanding CEO. And just to clarify, he's a well-paid superintendent, but there are probably 10 or 15 higher-paid superintendents in this state. And some of the superintendents have this same clause, and some of our competitive superintendents have this same clause in their contracts in the surrounding areas. And I confirmed that with the attorney today. He couldn't be with us tonight because he's in Montgomery representing one of the other systems that he works with.
And it's Saraland.
Let me finish.
Saraland?
He didn't divulge names because it's confidential information, but there are other systems.
Saraland earlier.
Pardon?
You told me Saraland on the phone.
Well, sorry. I thought that was maybe a confidential phone call, but
You didn't say it was a confidential. I mean, we were talking, okay. So you told me it was Saraland, but what you're saying is you're not sure if it's Saraland.
well, there's several.
Okay.
It's not
Well,
just
and
one.
that's all I want to know, but I wonder how many of them are all local money. Again, I mean, this is my thing. This is the only thing that upsets me, I guess, and I'm not really upset. The phone call on a Friday before the Thursday's meeting. That's twice. You thought it's a coincidence. Well,
No, it's not a coincidence, Robert. It's the day that the agenda gets posted on the website. And I'm giving you a call to say the agenda has been posted. You may want to take the time to go look it up and read it. And there's an item in here that would be of special
the way
interest
your
to you.
phone call went, Mr. McKinney, is if you mentioned that, I don't remember it, if you mentioned anything about the email, because this conversation, that wasn't how it went. But
Well, it was a conversation,
anyway,
Robert.
all I would like to see, I think that to protect us and future boards, I just think when a snap decision that all the stakeholders don't know about, 250 grand, 500, and hope to God it never does, but you know what? It could, right? I mean, it could. So, I don't know. I mean, y'all might not be interested in doing anything. You're happy the way it went and how you're doing things, but for me, it just felt greasy. And before, I went along with it. But this time, when y'all started meeting about it, why didn't you just sit and say, hey, gang, this is what we're thinking about doing. What do you think? And I thought that would have been great. But no, that's not what happened. What happened was we tried to slide it in and under. And I just don't, if that's not going on, then I apologize. But if it is going on, let's just don't do that anymore.
Well, I'll entertain your apology.
Yeah.
Because that's not what happened. That's not
Okay.
what's going on.
Fair enough.
And it's posted. And if
That's
it's
right.
posted,
and
nobody's hiding
everybody goes and
anything.
reads their email, so why? And you never mentioned about go read the post. You never said that. So, and then it was Saraland, but now it's not Saraland because you don't know. So anyway, let's just try, when y'all started thinking about it, say, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. I think everybody would have been on board with me, but I just think when you should be able to discuss something on a board, especially when it deals with contract and this kind of money, that it shouldn't be a last-minute thing.
Okay, fair enough. Anyone else?
I have a question just for clarification of the contract between, this does not increase any money unless we choose and I guess I wish Nash was here to make sure that I'm understanding correctly. This contract does not spend an additional $250,000. It only says that if and when we have a positive review, that it would then extend. So it still gives, should we not feel that to extend it, that opportunity exists, if I'm reading it correct.
That's right. And since, my name was included too, I want to go ahead and make sure that I speak also. The biggest thing that I looked at with this also, and when I'm looking at the resolution, is understanding exactly what it says. It says he's not guaranteed 1 year. What it's saying is that upon approval of this board and it being satisfactory. All right? So, number one, that's it. What this is essentially a way to be able to look at that, be able to agree to 1 year, to allow for longevity, to not have to bring up money again. All right?
So why not wait to the end? Why not get into the 2 years we added, for goodness sakes? Because again, you can call it, it's not 250,000, but it's 250,000 a year, thereabout. So if you approve it, if something happens, you're going to have to pay that off.
I don't believe it's as
But hey, look, we don't have to beat this horse because I can see y'all are happy with the way things are going, and that's fine. I don't mind being the guy that asks questions.
No,
right?
And I don't either. And I think it's important that we understand too that this is a move that is not necessarily intended to benefit Mr. Wilkes as much as it's intended to benefit our system, our kids, and our staff. The more that I read about superintendent longevity and its effects on student success and school success, more importantly, student achievement, why would we want to break that up and give this board the option to continue to extend that to allow him to continue to work here and continue to grow?
How would it be breaking it up? Explain it. When you said, how could this board break that up? What do you mean by break that up?
Essentially, the 1 year extensions. Essentially, this board, if they feel like that his work is not favorable, we have the option to, the way that I read that resolution, to disapprove or essentially say that we are not in favor of his work performance that year. It was unsatisfactory, and he would not, be given that 1 year.
But why undercover? Why the big secret?
I'm still confused about the secret.
The secret, yeah. So y'all started talking about it. You don't remember when, but you think it was a week before Friday or something?
I know it was last week.
So why not just send some out the board? Hey guys, this is what we're thinking about doing. What do you think?
I thought that's what happened.
I got it like Friday. What I'm saying is, when y'all first started discussing it, why wouldn't you send out to everybody, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing?
Well, I mean, that's what I thought happened, Robert.
It was technically posted last Thursday, so that's when it went up.
Yeah.
And it had been through legal counsel a few times, and nothing here is sinister that we're doing. We're actually adding an additional review process to where this board will actually vote on an annual basis about the evaluation. And
why tie it to review? I'm curious about that. Why not to something like a 1-point comprehensive rise in ACT? Something that because of review, reviews are funny things that sometimes I don't feel like we're getting the true gist out of it. But I think that, our motto is expect excellence. Excellence, right? Our grades are up, we're doing things, right? So let's tie something with some teeth. I mean, this year, if y'all want to do it on review, then let's talk about it. That's all I'm saying. Let's talk about it. And tie it to something with some teeth, something that shows that, our school grades in Cuba, look at what our ACTs are doing. That's the proof in the pudding, not a review. The proof is seeing, again, these parents are seeing the proof, right?
Well, I appreciate your comments, but I would add to that a review includes everything. A review includes ACAP scores. It includes ATC scores. It includes all of that progress. It includes attendance.
Yeah.
A review encapsulates all of that.
That's right.
So you're not picking a specific area to say, okay, you win or lose on this one item.
That's right.
So it's an overall assessment of the progress, which is what Cofield did with the plan that we had last year.
Right.
And so he reviewed everything according to that plan. And we will have a discussion this spring about whether we let Cofield do that again, and then we review everything, including Cofield.
So we haven't signed an agreement with Cofield?
No.
Okay, good. So before y'all do that, can we talk?
Of course, we
Good.
did last time.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I don't want you to make it sound like we didn't do that last time. We talked about it last time. We voted on it last time.
Cofield?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. we
Okay.
did. I just want to make sure. that
I
we're
just
gonna
wanted
talk
to be
about it
clear to the
before we
people
sign-
listening that that was not
Before he
sinister
signs
or
his
undercover.
contract, Before we sign his contract, I would just like for us to talk about it.
Fair enough.
Good, good.
We would have to vote on it.
Any other comments on this amendment? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
No.
We have 4-1. Mr. Stewart was the dissenting vote. Discussion items?
There are none?
Executive session not needed.
No, sir.
The next meeting will be January 9th. A work session will convene at 4:30, and the board meeting will immediately follow. And they will be here in this location at the City Council chambers. Seeing no further business, the Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Bauer, second by Shannon Robinson. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.